Hello. I have been waiting for this. Ever since I finished SMT5 for the first time, I've been anticipating the release of a newer version of the game because if you're a Megami fan, you're used to this. It doesn't matter if you play SMT or Persona or even some of the other numerous games in this kind of universe. And sometimes it can be a mixed bag, because a lot of things can get lost in translation from the original title to the new one, sometimes literally. But it's not something that I hate. But I have seen it with some games where I played the first one and I've seen, oh, there's weaker elements here. An example would be Strange Journey Redux. Even though Redux is a solid game and I would recommend playing either one, you'll still have a good time. But if you played the first game and then you go into the second one, you'll enjoy the new content, but you will see some differences, say, in alignment choices and kind of the motivation and the end result of those alignments. I feel can weaken it to a degree, but there's enough good stuff there that it doesn't make it a pointless experience. And also, here's the thing. In the eyes of Atlas and some of the individuals who play these games, the newer version becomes the definitive version, and you kind of know, okay, if there's a re-release like 5-10 years in the future, it's probably going to be this version and not the one that I played for the first time. And some people, that doesn't bother. Luckily, this is something they fix with this, because you can play just the original version with everything that is there, and they're separated into the original, Canon of Creation, the new one, Canon of Vengeance, which I think is wonderful because some people are going to want to go back and play that one. Especially because with some of the games I've played from Atlas, particularly Megami games, I've noticed also gameplay elements. And in SMT, the gameplay is the biggest part. Not that it's not there in, say, something like Persona, but Persona has other elements. The slice of life stuff, the romance stuff, the building up friendships. And that's some of the stuff that really draws a lot of people into it. And this isn't a comparison of saying, oh, SMT is better than Persona because of gameplay, or Persona is better than SMT because of slice of life stuff. No, it's just a true reality to it. And there was things lacking in SMT5, things that didn't ruin my experience, but things that I think took a game that could have been far better and weakened it to some degree. And I think Vengeance does a good job with that. Playing through the new canon adds in a lot of stuff. You get to experience the characters in a different light, and things do play out differently, but you really still get to see a lot of what made them even who they were originally, because you get to interact with them in ways such as they can be guest characters now, you can travel through the world with them, you can fight alongside them, you can even have them along with you while you're doing, say, a side quest. And that includes the new female character we have in this game, who I enjoy. I won't say too much about her, or really too much about the story outside of just general stuff that kind of demonstrates to why I think it is good, because not everybody has 60 or 70 hours to put into a game all in like the span of a few days like I do, because they have lives and stuff like that. And I don't want to ruin that for them, because I think this is genuinely really good. And when you take in the fact that something I'm going to talk a little bit more about later, the Demon Hunt, which basically allows you to talk to demons and you can talk to these guest characters, and you can even have the guest characters comment on side quests you may do, and you can talk to them about that, and you can kind of get some understanding of it. And since all these characters you're interacting with, they do follow an alignment, like all the games. You have your alignment reps, and these individuals kind of going with the flow with them and seeing their motivations, you can kind of decide, okay, am I going to go this way, I'm going to go that way, law, neutral, somewhere in between, like those things. And it can kind of give you understanding where they came from. Not completely, because the way this game ends plays out quite differently from the other one in terms of how many opportunities and choices you have to determine how it really, as I said, ends. But genuinely, all the new story stuff added is wonderful. I didn't really sit down and think, that could be a little better, that's a flaw here or there. No, I genuinely enjoyed it. If I didn't, I probably would be playing something in the background on a second monitor or on a tablet or something, which I do with games. I'm like, I'm enjoying this game, playing it, but I don't really care about the story too much. But no, there was nothing playing. I was just enjoying everything when a cutscene happened. But that's enough for the story, because I don't, like I said, don't want to ruin anything. Maybe I'll touch on some more stuff close to the end of this video, but the gameplay is why you're here. The gameplay is why you're playing SMT. You're here to fight difficult bosses, ones that are just going to rip out their demonic fist and just shove it up your ass. You want some difficulty, you want a hard time. And you can get this in this game, especially now, because there is a brand new game plus mode that you tackle that on with hard difficulty, and you're gonna be really getting destroyed, because there's a new level cap that you can unlock for your characters and demons. But even if you decide not to do that, I wouldn't recommend it unless you're really, really trying to give yourself a challenge, because all the enemies in this Godborn New Game Plus mode, they're all 150. You do not know true horror until your level 99 Beelzebub gets one-tapped by a slime. You're like, okay, now we're rolling here. This is going to be a grand old time. That's why, sadly, I have not progressed all the way through the game on Godborn mode. I wanted to do it for this video, but man, that's going to take some time, because I ran into, they have these Magasushi enemies. I probably said that in a terrible way. Might not even pronounce it correctly. But they're these glowing enemies. They're just regular versions of enemies. I don't know why I said regular. They're regular enemies, regular demons you encounter in the world. They're not like, oh, just Beelzebub walking through the world. No, they are, like I said, a slime, because I've had a bad experience with with slime so far. But you'll see this glowing red slime. You'll attack it, and you'll find them on normal mode, on the normal difficulty, in a non-New Game Plus game. And yeah, they're a little extra difficult to face. But my surprise when I faced one in Godborn mode is level 150, but also it's using Magasushi abilities. So like these special abilities you have to build up your gauge to use in a battle. It was doing like almighty EX attacks. And I was like, okay, that's crazy. And then the next second, it does a full heal ability, bringing it back to full health. And it was destroying me. And it's like the AI was just trying to flex on me, just trying to demonstrate its superior capabilities. It just kept using the healing ability every time, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to get out of here. I tried to escape, but it's level 150. All its stats are maxed out, and I did not grind enough because I wasn't expecting this. I had looked online to figure out, oh, there's a New Game Plus mode, a new one, a third one, but I wasn't expecting it. I should have read it more, that everything would be 150. I was like, okay, some things might be 150. Maybe some things would just be like level 99. There'd be a little bit difference, but no, everything's 150. And I ran into that. I was like, okay, this is not good. The game is good. The game is fun. I'm here for the difficulty, but I wasn't expecting this. So I did not grind. I did not even go out and grind some Matamas, because I was at the end game, because I'm in New Game Plus. I was at the end game, my other save. Everything was maxed out to level 99, but then I got this, and I just got the skill that allowed you to level everything up to 150, but I didn't grind Matamas or grind enemies. I don't know. I wouldn't grind enemies to get to level 150. Wouldn't recommend it. Just use the Matamas. You're not losing out on anything. Everything else is maxed out, so it just makes the game a lot fairer, a lot more pleasant. Just don't do what I do. Be better. Be smarter. But yeah, so it's gonna take some time to get to that mode, and maybe I'll make another video on going through it on both canons later on. But that's gonna take some time, especially when I get to the super bosses, everything else that's just gonna destroy me, because they were destroying me previously at a level 150 with of course level 150 stats. So everything maxed out, everything's just glowing because it's well past 100. It's gonna take some time, that it is. But let's get back on track with other gameplay stuff, because most of you, at least for this first point hopping in the game, probably playing on normal mode. That's just as you should be. I think that's just the best mode to play. That's the expected one usually. It's normal. So we'll talk about experience in there. Everything's great. If you played 5 before originally, you know what you're getting into. If you're new to the game, which there's plenty of people are, because let's consider this. For a long time now, Persona has really eclipsed SMT. Even though Persona was originally a spin-off, a lot of people are going to find their way into SMT by playing a Persona game, and they be like, oh, this comes from this, let's hop into playing this, and it's going to be relatively new for them. This might be their first SMT game, especially depending on how old they are. And I would say the difficulty curve, it's good. Even if you do grind some Matamas, like you got the DLC, so you have increased Matamas, and Matamas, for you who don't know it, you beat them up, you usually go use a spyglass to figure out, oh, what are they weak to? And you're going to hit that, because everything else they're invulnerable to, and they might give you relics you can sell for money, a gospel that levels up your character, a grimoire that levels up your demons. They might give you some crystals you can use to get gospels, and that allows you to, well, get skills, get abilities that can help you in a number of ways. As SMT is more gameplay focused, you're gonna want to spend your time figuring things out, because you can easily get destroyed by a lot of things, even if you're higher level than it. Even if you do use those gospels to level up your character and your demons, unless you do it to a point to where you're just significantly over leveled, to a point where in this area you're like 10 levels above the things you're fighting, and of course you're gonna just mollywop them, especially if you're already using some super powerful demons. But you can still get caught off guard because, hey, you might encounter an enemy that just, oh, I don't know, has just the right amount of, say, immunities and the right abilities to destroy you. And by the time you get to the end game where you're gonna be facing a lot of things that are high level, and with that level cap of 99, at least in the basic version of the game, there's pretty much no more leveling. You really just have to come down to, I have to play smart or I am going to die. And especially if you're like me, and plenty of times you're sitting there like, oh wait, I just died, but when was the last time I saved? And you're like, oh, I lost a whole load of progress. It's easier not to do that now because they added this kind of quality of life thing, which is you can save anywhere. And it's one of those things I'm kind of glad they changed, because it wasn't even something that added a level of difficulty. It was one of those things that really kind of just frustrated you, that you couldn't just save anywhere you want. Because maybe you wanted to lead the game, and the ley line was in a position to where it just wasn't advantageous for what you might have wanted to do when you came back. So that's just a quality of life thing. Doesn't take any other way, just makes it better for people who are playing. And things are also better interaction with demons. Like I said, demon hunt. I talked about that however many minutes ago, I don't know. But you can now, beautifully, you can talk to the demons you have, even the fusion ones. Because of course, the demon you encounter in the world, you can get some idea of his personality, his traits and all that when you're negotiating with it, trying to get it to come along with you. Come on, little buddy. Come on, massive demon. Don't you want to be my friend? Here, I'll give you some money, I'll give you some items, or I'll say something that might make you like me. Maybe the moon phase is just right, and you feel like, just throw me a couple of maca and we're good. I'll come along with you. All depends, and you can get an idea of it. I love the dialogue. Talking to demons has always been one of my favorite parts about it, because all the demons are cool and unique in their own way. And getting to talk with them and actually getting to build a relationship with them, because when you fight with demons, of course when they level up, they originally did give you stuff, but now you get extra little conversations when you talk with them. Now you might actually build up a bond with them, and they'll acknowledge you, and they'll get more powerful. They might get like an extra 2 or 3 points to a stat. They might give you a gift, and you can give them gifts as well. You give these little demon boxes that build up your relationship with them. You're getting closer and closer and closer, and you can reap those rewards. And they do have some fun little dialogue. You might learn a little bit more about their lore, their backstory, their feelings, see more how they feel about you, and it's just fun. Even outside the little extra gameplay elements they add to it that make them stronger out when you're trying to fight something. And the demon hunt, the area that is in changes all the time depending on what area you're in, and it's cool just to look at the different layouts. And you can also talk to Aogami, the creation that you are fused with. And after you do a big fight, usually a big story mission, and where it ends in like a big boss fight, you can talk to him and get like 3 extra points that you can dispense anywhere in your stats, which is another thing I love. And even he has his own little conversations where you're just kind of like bonding with him, and it's fun. And even just in normal mode, you will come across so many new things, so many new fights, because there's like 40 plus new demons, and that means so many new things to fight, new things to fuse, and you have these new quests for demons. And some of them are pretty interesting. And another thing I noticed in the demon hunt, I actually came across a quest that I got from one of the demons after I beat another boss, and I was like, okay, now this is pretty cool. And they sent me out, hey, recruit these other 2 demons that are related to me, and we'll go out and we'll do this quest where you're gonna fight this boss. And it was cool because also one of my companions commented on it, because they do that all the time out in the world. They comment on the side quest, they comment on all this stuff. Another beautiful aspect, I might have already talked about that, but this video is probably named something rambling review, I don't know. So if you read it, you know I'm losing train of thought, because I have some general idea of things, but it's not all well documented, well structured in a way where I can not get stumbled up or stutter or do any number of things. You know, it's something I just remembered. It came back to my mind. Did I talk about this already? I don't know. But Godborn mode is not as difficult or takes as many steps as some people online have stated it to be. People were talking about, oh, you gotta beat the canon of creation, and you gotta get this very particular ending. You know, you gotta get like the neutral ending where you create a world for humanity, and then you gotta go play through all the way of Canon of Vengeance until you get right to a final boss, and then you gotta beat that, and then you gotta reload that save, and then you'll see the individual on a part of the map that you have to talk to. But no, you just gotta beat Canon of Vengeance once, and then you can unlock the super boss that you need to beat. Really, 2 super bosses you have to beat for these quests, and you can just go fight it, and then you'll make another New Game Plus save, and then bam, Godborn unlocked. Because I'll be honest with you, I was like, buddy, that sounds like a lot of work. And if it was that much work, I probably would not have done it. Because I was planning on replaying Canon Creation. I'm doing that now in Godborn mode. But I was not going to sit here, play through the game, and have to get a specific ending so I can get beat up by slimes. But yeah, I won't give away too much because I might actually like spoil something. But you can, now that you have this information, you can go find all the steps and everything you need to find, and you can be able to like, okay, I can sift through this ain't really legitimate information, and you'll be able to find it, because I found it relatively easily. It was like on GameFAQs or something, where a person gave me the correct information, and it should hopefully still be up there. I don't know why anybody would have deleted it or it would have disappeared. It was on that thread, so you'll be good. But be prepared. This super boss is like, we're talking about some demi-fiend level stuff to where you're going to need to be maxed out, because this individual is level 99. They summon other demons. They can use some powerful attacks, immune to basically everything. The demons have various immunities. If you don't remember them, you're going to use a spyglass or another item you can unlock to see, oh, what is this thing weak to, which takes up more turns, meaning you can't even take advantage of the press turn system in the way you want to, and get beat up. And the press turn system, oh, the beautiful press turn system. The system that I would say makes this game palatable for people who don't like turn-based games. I love turn-based games. I love difficult games, and I love turn-based combat. That's why I love SMT. But some people, they don't like it. But I have seen in my life, when it comes to the press turn system, it can kind of fix things for people to where they don't like a lot of other turn-based games, but they play this and like, okay, there's some flow to this, there's movement, it feels like you're a more active participant in the gameplay. Things flow in a manner that's just exciting. You're like, oh, I hit that weakness, oh, I get another one, oh, I get another one, I hit a critical, oh, I get one more, just one more, oh yes. And it's just a sweet feeling when you annihilate something, when you annihilate especially a boss by just utilizing their weaknesses and using the press turn system to its maximum. Oh boy, it's an orgasmic sensation. It is a experience. You're in a state of nirvana, a state of bliss. You are a transcendent being, quite literally in this case, because you're not being, you're basically a god in the making. So it's beautiful, and I'm glad they kept it, and I'm glad they're keeping it. I'm glad to see it in anything. Just magnificent. Chef's kiss. So honestly, I recommend this game, even if you played 5, well, especially played 5. But if you're a newcomer, whether you're a newcomer to this game or SMT in general, highly recommend it, especially because Atlas did not go full Mr. Krabs like they did with Persona 3 Reloads, trying to sell you some $70 game. We got this like $35 expansion pass coming out. They got a bunch of little DLC that are basically just a few different personas, and they're like, oh, don't you remember this? Don't you want this? You better go ahead and pay like $100. Just running your fucking pockets. So for $60, yeah, buy this. And Persona 3 Reload wasn't a bad game. I like Persona 3 Reload, but I know everybody's not going to want to pay that money for it, especially depending on where you live. And I don't know what your taxes are like, so you might pay like $100 for like the base game. You're not even getting like the extra little things. So completely understandable. But this is a worthwhile experience. You can easily put 100 hours in this, even if you're just going through like both of the main stories and maybe doing 1 or 2 little side quests here and there, even if you're a person who doesn't want to explore everything. Because I'm working my way to try to get all the achievements. I got like 50% of them, a little bit more, I think, and I'm working on it. Because I have to do multiple playthroughs. I have to beat it on different New Game Plus modes. I have to finish completing the compendium, which I'm almost at. I'm at like 90% compendium completion. There's just some extra stuff I need to do to get that done. Maybe that will be part of the Godborn video, because I'm going to be completing the compendium on that, because I'm just in that mode now and I don't really feel like going back to other ones, especially because you gotta do everything. You really get that complete. So yeah, a big recommend. You won't be disappointed, and I see people aren't disappointed. It's like overwhelmingly positive reviews, and I'm glad it's on a new platform, for God's sake. Like, it's not like it ran like absolute shit on the Switch, but it did not run as well as it could have. And of course, this isn't like a game where a high frame rate is necessary, but it still is nice to have. Things are a little bit smoother here and there. Of course, I think some of the cutscenes are still in a lower frame rate, but that's not really it's nothing I'm going to make a big deal about. And at least I don't have to worry about some of the minor technical issues I had on the Switch, especially like early on when I played like day one, and I felt like, okay, this thing's chugging a bit, but now I'm playing on PC. It's like, oh, cool, fun. I don't have to worry about any frame rate drops if something particularly intensive happens. And a lot more people get to play it because it's not only on PC, it's on the other consoles. And maybe a lot of people will be introduced to SMT through this, because everybody has to have their first game to really get them into something. I think this is a good place to start if you haven't, you know. And then maybe you'll go out and play some of the older games. Maybe you'll play some other games that had to press turn system, or maybe you'll go further back and you'll get to experience what it's like having a lot more demons than you have now. And those games are solid, like the older ones. Like SMT1 and SMT2 are good games. Like the stories are strong. You can play some of the other spin-off, Devil Survivor. There's a lot of good stuff out there. A lot of the stuff you'll have to go out and like emulate. I wouldn't recommend trying to buy a copy, especially because some things aren't translated with some of those other games. So you're really going to want to emulate them and use a patch. And plenty of sites, you just have the patch already there, depending on where you download it from. So yes, if you haven't played it before, play it. If you played it already, play it again, or don't. It's up to you. And if you like this video, you could like it, you could dislike it. Some of you probably could. Of course, people probably clicked off maybe like a few seconds in. They're like, ugh, what is this? It's garbage. And then they left and went on their way. You could subscribe if you want, or you couldn't, or you. I don't know why I said you couldn't. It's not like somebody's going to come in and force you not to do it. But if you don't want to, there's a better way of expressing that thought in my head that's hands all over the place, actually. But yeah, do as you please. I don't know. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for spending however long of your time. Thank you for taking, existence is finite. And you used some of it for this. Hopefully it was good. If not, well, you're not getting that time back, so go do something else. Yeah, peace. I'm out.